It's Kenner's Star Wars Laser Rifle. This is a vintage toy from the late 70s, aka the Stormtrooper Blaster from the Star Wars movie. I talked about this in the Toy Tune Podcast, episode 41, Star Wars. Some of my favorite toys I had from the original Star Wars movie back in the day. If you want to take a listen to that, I'll put a link to the podcast episode down in the video description. But anyways, take a nice look at this toy here. Has a lot of great details on it. It looks a lot like the movie prop, which I thought was really awesome back in the day. We have like a little Star Wars decal here on the side. Got a nice little silver decal here on the bolt slide. I've never really seen that used in the movie. I don't know what came out of it. So if everybody has seen a picture of what comes out of that crazy thing, share it down below or something. Because I don't ever remember seeing anything coming out of there. It has like a little magazine on the other side that looks like a magazine, but I've never seen anything come out. It has a really cool stock, which typically when you find these out in the wild, they're usually missing the stock. But what's cool about the stock is it has like 3 positions. This is called the sneak attack mode. This would be the guard mode. And then you have the laser rifle mode, which clips right here. Like so. So right there's the laser rifle mode. Pretty cool little play feature. Gives you three weapons in one. Now I think these look kind of goofy without the stock right here, and just having this little nub sticking down. And I'd never have liked the looks of that. Some of the later versions of this toy they put out, the electronic ones and stuff like that, didn't have a stock and just had this nub sticking down. Never liked the looks of those. I always like this classic one. And another weak point on these toys is this little clip mechanism here. Sometimes you'll find these broken off, and once that happens, you'll never keep this stock clipped up in place. It also wears out over time. When mine eventually wore out, I used a rubber band to hold it on. Used a black felt tip marker to color rubber band black so you really couldn't see it. That's how I kept mine up there. This one needs a little bit of work. I mean, the clip is there, but they're kind of warped in a little bit. They need to be bent back out so it clips a little bit better than it does. It's pretty annoying as a kid playing with this toy and having this stock come undone and flop down. You'd pinch your fingers in here. That may be the reason why the stock was removed. Maybe there was complaints of kids, pinching their finger in here by folding the stock down, because it does become a pinch point. Anyway. Another neat feature of this toy is this cardboard tube that's inside the barrel here. It spins. It's painted like a barber's pole. It's got black and yellow paint on it in a spiral pattern. As the motor spins, it moves out like this. It looks like laser bolts are flying down the barrel. That's a neat effect. I really like that. Of course, this does have a 2-speed motor in it for low power and high power. And unlike the Han Solo blaster, where you would push this button here to rev up the motor, this just turns the motor on and off. This here controls the speed of the motor. It's 2-position. So you pull it in part way, you got low speed. Pull it all the way back, you have high speed. Kind of cool to have 2 different sound effects to simulate the stun and the high power mode of the laser rifle. Over in the back, we have a little D-ring. These I have really never seen on any blasters I've seen out in the field. They're always gone. This is not an original. This is one I actually made. I made this out of a piece of metal, bent it over using a dowel rod form, painted it black with some Tamiya black paint, and it came out really good. I mean, it does the job. I just wanted it for display. I probably could have got a 3D printed one made, but I decided I wanted one that was metal because I like the metal a lot better than the plastic one. If I ever run across a plastic one when I'm out and about, like I see a box of loose parts and stuff like that, I happen to recognize the little D-ring in there, maybe I'll get it. Or maybe I'll find one of these that's being sold as scrap and it has the D-ring. If I do, that's fine. If not, the metal one's just as good. It's only for display, to leave hanging up on my wall with Han Solo blaster I did a video on some time ago. I love having this back in my collection. I have a lot of great memories of this toy. My brother used to be a security guard at this golf course. And at this golf course, there was like a football stadium in the middle. And there was like this large underground passageway. It looked like a long hallway. And it kind of reminded me a lot of like the Death Star prison hallway that they rescued Princess Leia out of. And me and my brother, we'd run up and down that hallway. He chased me around and stuff. Really great time. I had a great brother. He was a lot of fun. But anyway. Didn't really do any modifications to this toy except for putting the plexiglass on the side up here to make it look like a glass sight instead of just a hole through a piece of plastic, like I did to the Han Solo blaster. But nothing else I did to my original one. It pretty much stayed stock. I do know before I lost track of my original one, the stock was gone. I think it got broken. And I know the D-ring was gone a long time ago. Early on, that ring was lost. It popped off really easy during play, so that was apt to be lost very quickly when you had this toy. So look at some of the details here. We've got our Star Wars sticker there. Nice little silver sticker over the slide bolt here, which I've never seen used in a Star Wars movie. I don't know what comes out of there. I don't know. If someone has seen video or something of something coming out of there, share it down below because I'm really interested. It's got some nice knurl on the handle, some fake screws showing it being held together. Kind of cool. The fake screws are on the back side, sorry. These are actually real screws right there to hold the body together. Let's look at the other side real quick. So on the opposite side, we can see the side view of the electronics package for the sight. A lot of great details on this weapon. Pretty cool. We have our little safety lock right there. Some more fake screws. And right here is the other side of that bolt slide on the other side I showed you. Now in the movie, these are actually a little bit longer. They stick a bit farther out from the weapon than they do on the toy. So we'll get a top view of it. It's got a really cool looking profile. I always like these fins out here on the barrel. So let's take a look at the forward view here. That's pretty awesome. Hasbro did a really good job with the details on this. You can look down the sight, just a hole through the plastic, which I never really liked that. Pretty awesome. Now let's put batteries in it. Let's take the little D-ring off. Pop off the little collar, which has its own little nubbies. This actually snaps on, so you don't really need a D-ring to keep this on. It stays on pretty well. Take off the little plate. And there's the battery compartment. You look inside the battery compartment, you'll see 3 wires. There's one back there, one in the middle, and one over here. This is how the 2-speed motor works. So you partially push in the trigger. It uses one battery. When you move the trigger all the way back, it uses both batteries to give you faster speed. Pretty cool. So we'll put the batteries in. Now these are orange batteries. Like I said back in my Han Solo blaster video, I like using the red Ever-Ready batteries because I used to pretend they were like laser cartridges put into my weapon. Stick that in there. Oh, be a little tricky sometimes. Put the lock collar back on. There we go. I'm not going to put the D-ring back on, so I'm going to take the batteries back out. So now, I hold this button in. If I push the trigger halfway in, there's low power mode. I release the button, it stops. Push the trigger all the way in. Now we have high power mode. Woo! I dig that effect of this cardboard tube spinning in the barrel. That is so awesome. That noise can get annoying after a while. It's a great toy to annoy your parents with. Anyway, that's the Kenner Vintage Star Wars laser rifle, aka the Stormtrooper Blaster. Did any of you have this toy back in the day, in the late 70s or early 80s? I know they released different versions of this. They had the Empire Strikes Back one, which had a different sticker on it for Empire Strikes Back. And of course, electronic ones came out as part of the Power of the Force 2 line, which I think they were pretty cool as well. They didn't have the stock on them, so they had that really goofy look that I don't really like. Anytime I see a Stormtrooper blaster, it has to have this stock on there, so it looks right. It just doesn't look right when the stock's not on there. No, I don't like that look. Anyway, share any stories you have about this toy down below in the comments. I love reading other people who's had these when they were kids. Now, what kind of adventures did you have with this toy back then? Did you have any of the newer ones as a kid, like the electronic ones for Power of the Force 2? Now, comment down below. Tell me your thoughts of these laser rifles in general. Anything else you want to talk about Star Wars-wise. As always, everyone, thanks for watching.